Simon, first of all, why Bradford City?
Yeah, look, I've had quite a few opportunities to come back into football since I left Sunderland, home and abroad. Never felt that the ones that I was offered were the right ones that I wanted to take. I think you only have to see from the outside, the inside of this football club, the attraction of coming here. It's 19,000 on a regular basis, ex-Premier League club, and it's a club that is still in the top six of League One. They've got an opportunity still to get promoted, so I just felt it was the right opportunity to come here and try and take the club forward again.
You've been tremendously successful over the years at getting teams promoted out of this division. To what extent, I wonder, did that play a part in your decision?
Well, a little bit. I've also like to think I've been a successful Championship manager as well. So my experience of being a manager for 12 years is hopefully going to help this football club move forward in the future. I think you don't go into jobs that often where the team is in a strong position still in the league with an opportunity still to get promoted. The last time I went into a job was at Huddersfield and managed to be successful, and so hopefully it's going to be the same this year. Not going to come in to this football club and change major things, because I think Stuart deserves a lot of credit for where it is still at this moment in time. What I'm trying to do is implement a few ideas very quickly to try and get us over the line and get this club back into the Championship.
I guess it goes without saying you'd love to have been a bit more successful in your time at Sunderland, but in the months you've had away from management, what have you been doing? Have you had time to reflect on what's happened?
Yeah, look, Sunderland was something that I look back on. I don't have any regrets going, and I think it's. I think people can still see the problems that football club's got, so I don't come out scarred or anything like that. Over the last few months I've been out watching games, I've been watching different sports where they're coaching, like with Brian McDermott recently with the Rhinos. Been to different cities, enjoying myself for a little bit, and just enjoying sort of watching football. It was a welcome back to football on Tuesday night, where I stood on the touchline on a Tuesday night and getting to bed at 4:30 the following morning. So been thrown in the deep end, but that's what I like. This Christmas was the first time I've had off at any football club in 32 years. Didn't particularly like it, so because I was back doing a lot of work through the media stuff. So yeah, I like doing like being involved in football, and hence why I'm back in work now.
Just final from me, in your conversations with the owners, have they stated to you their goals, not only long term but for this season as well?
Look, they don't have to state their intentions. It's blatantly clear to myself what I want to achieve with this football club. It's in a division where I don't want to be as a manager. I want to be in the Championship, and a club like this deserves to be in the Championship, but you have to earn the right to get to there. So I'm here with the ambition of getting a promotion and working in the Championship next year.
Next questions?
You've obviously come in at a time when the players are set, transfer window's closed. What do you know about the current squad?
Look, I know a lot about them in terms of individually, collectively as a team. I've not seen them play a lot, but through due diligence over since I've been out of work, I keep an eye on all levels of football and work very closely over the last few days with Greg Abbott and Kenny Black and the rest of the staff to get to know the players. That they must be doing something right, because they've not been out the top six in 18 months. So all we need to do is tweak a few bits and bobs, which me and Glenn, my assistant, will do. Restore a little bit more confidence back into the group, which has obviously been affected with the results that have happened. But you saw the other night, fantastic attitude, a desire to get back into a game, and there's some talented players that can play at a higher level.
As we said already, you've been very successful at this level, as well as higher. What do you think is different about League One that you can bring to this club?
Well, I think in terms of League One, you've got to be consistent. You have to have probably a style of playing. You've got to be players that have to adapt to it. Championship's a different level, a little bit more technical than this level. You've got to be able to compete, but you've got to be consistent. You can't be up and down too much. You've got to get consistent results, which will get you over the line if possible.
We know football fans are tribal. You've managed at Leeds, you've managed at Huddersfield. Do you foresee any problems with the fans there?
Look, I haven't got a problem whatsoever. I've got thick skin. I've managed Blackpool and Preston, so it doesn't bother me whatsoever. The only way that you get supporters on your side, if you've got them against you, is by winning football matches, and that can change around very quickly. So I've got no problems for that. I'm too long in the tooth to worry about what people think about me.
On that, Simon, how much of a specific reputation do you need to develop for getting teams from League One into the Championship, because of what you achieved at Leeds, then what's good, and you assuming that your brief here at Bradford has got to be exactly the same.
Yeah, look, no matter what level I've worked at, I've always tried to be successful. So if it means being in League One and getting 4 promotions previously, well, that's what I've done. Even when I've taken teams up, I've been successful. I took Leeds to 7th in the division, 8th in the division. Huddersfield were a top half for large parts until I got sacked. Preston, I've had 2 top 11 finishes with bottom 3 budgets. I like to think I'm a good recognised championship manager who knows what he's doing. I've got 650 games under my belt at whatever level. Do whatever's required to win football matches, whether it's League One or the Championship, and hopefully that will be the case from now to the end of the season and longer.
Did you have many other offers?
I've had like 4 or 5 offers, both home and abroad. And it was just one of them, and considered for 1 or 2 other jobs as well, which didn't come towards me. But ultimately, it was all about sort of being at the right time at the right place, and this is one that certainly attracted me because of many different aspects of it all.
Big gap before the next game a week on Saturday. Is that going to help you?
Yeah, I think it is. I think sort of from Sunday, it's been a whirlwind of meeting the staff on Sunday night to meeting the players on Monday. Very little training because we're preparing ready for the game on Tuesday night, so it's been very much sort of non-stop for everybody. We've been back in this morning. The players will now have 3 days off to recover after a busy schedule and get them revitalised, ready for the rest of the season now. So I think it's come at a good time, gives me a chance to work with the players next week, but also it gives them a chance to have a bit of a time away from each other to get revitalise both the minds and the legs as well.
Charlton away on a Tuesday night, Plymouth away on Saturday. You pick your moments to take the job.
Yeah, maybe I should have waited a couple more weeks, I think, to a little bit more luck.
Until you get your first home game, you must be looking forward to that and Valley Parade and everything that entails.
Well, yeah, definitely. Sort of at the weekend, I had one of my staff was here watching when we were close to the negotiations being completed to sort of see what the team were like, and I've been here many times. I was here pre-season with Sunderland, so I know what this club's like and what the way support that they have and the backing that they create and the atmosphere that they can create. So again, it was typified on Tuesday night when we had 850 fans down on Charlton on the Tuesday night. So it's a big football club in terms of the following. What we've got to do is try and win a few more matches to really give them something to cheer about.
What are your first impressions of the squad? And you've seen them play in a competitive surroundings, you've seen them in training perhaps once or twice. What are your first impressions? Well,
as I said earlier, I think they've certainly got some talent about them. I think they showed a lot of character the other night after being on the back foot for the first 30 minutes of the game. But from then on, we were the far better teams, and they put the bodies on the line. So they've got some different qualities in terms of, as I mentioned, they can handle the ball, some of them more defensive than others. We've got to put it all together to make sure that everything that we do ticks, and it can get them back on track to a certain degree.
Simon, can I sort of the elephant in the room, your contract length? Could you state what it is?
Well, first and foremost, contracts don't really mean anything. I had a 3-year deal at Sunderland and left after 4 months. So, but I've signed till the end of the season. Bradford were very sort of pushing, trying to sign a longer deal, and a very long deal. But it was on my terms that I came, that I just wanted to come to the end of the season, assess how the football club is, work out where I think we need to be. So I've signed, but there's plenty of preparation and planning going for me to be here next year. So I can't sort of say any more than what the football club tried to do, but it was on my terms that I wanted to come just to the end of the season.
So it's very much your decision.
Yeah, certainly. As I said, the owners were desperate to sign me a long-term deal. But I said to them, the only way I'll come is because I wanted to assess the football club, work out how things can work. But on the other side of that, I'm still planning for next year. We still, over the next week or so, 10 days, we'll be talking about recruitment for players. We'll be planning pre-season, what we need to change around the football club, both at the training ground here. So I'm planning to be here for the long term, but the contract is just end of the season, and I've got no problem with that, and the owners have had no problem with that.
Is there an option clause in that contract for you to stay longer if you want to?
No option clauses. It's basically that we'll sit down and talk come the end of the season, or even before the end of the season. We're very open and relaxed about the situation. You know what I mean? They keep saying it. The owners could not do enough to entice me to come to this football club with a very longer contract. And but I just thought that where I am at this moment in time of my career, I want to just sort of assess the whole situation and leave things a bit open as such. But I am planning for the long term in terms of, I mentioned, the recruitment and players and pre-season preparations.
You had a brief spell as a player here, Simon. A lot of us remember. And times were different then. But in the modern situation, where would you say Bradford City sits in the Yorkshire football community? What's its potential?
Well, I think again you just look at the size of the fan base, and it could be a recognised Championship club, because it wasn't so long ago that it was a Championship club and ultimately a Premiership club before that. So it's been through some dark times recently, hence just in League One, but it's a fantastic opportunity because of the community and everything that's connected with it to be one of the bigger clubs into the Championship. Everybody I spoke to outside who were involved in football said it's got an opportunity to be a great football club and a big football club again. Because you have opportunity to go to certain clubs and you're not going to get half as many in the crowds. You come here and it's 19,000, and that is beating a lot of figures even in the Championship at this moment in time. So it shows what it's capable of being like, and the bit of more look along the way, a little bit more positivity, then it can get back to where it once was.
Can you see an obvious flaw in what is going on here at the moment? I was interested to hear you say that you'll change certain things. All managers do that.
Yeah.
Is there an elephant in the room? As Simon said, is there something that you think, wow, that's been wrong for ages, I need to change that? Right?
I haven't been here long enough to really think there's any real big fundamental problems. I think it's people don't understand the game, they don't realise that the team need to be a little bit harder to play against. To be in the top 6 and have a minus goal deficit tells you something that we need to be harder to play against, stop the goals from going in and stop the opposition from playing. So hence on Tuesday night we tried to be a little bit more harder to play against, and I think the players showed that. Obviously we conceded a goal, but we were certainly putting the bodies on the line. And again, I've said earlier that Stuart did a fantastic job here, and my attitude will not be to make radical changes. One, I ain't got enough time to do it. But, 2, I don't need to do that because of the group of players will take ages to understand your philosophies. That can all wait till the summer. So it's about just tweaking little things to make us better.
From what you say, do you think Bradford, as they are at the moment, can finish top 6, getting the playoffs?
Well, we've got to believe that, and certainly it's an achievable thing without a shadow of doubt. Sort of, it's going to be a lot of twists and turns from now to the end of the season. I think it's when it gets to this stage of the season, sort of different type of results happen. You've just seen Wigan lose the last couple of games and drop out of the top position for the first time in a long time. Did say to the players over the last few days that if you're going to have a blip, have it in January. Don't have it in March, April time, because you're not going to recover from that. We've now got 14 games to recover from the first blip of the season, and every team have a blip in the season. Just let's make sure that it's not March time, and we can be positive with the results that we can have.
You said you had people here on Saturday. You obviously saw Tuesday's game. Low confidence has been one of the things that's been said prior to those 2 games. Have you seen the confidence improving with the fact that points are now on the board again?
Yeah, I think even as much as everybody was hugely disappointed considering such a late goal on Saturday, it stopped the rot. That was the basics what had happened, and potentially could have lost the game given sort of how the game had panned out. And you could sense the positive vibe in the dressing room. Everyone was absolutely buzzing that we'd got a good result against a strong team and how well we'd played. And yeah, confidence has taken a bit of a hit, and that's part and parcel of what we need to sort of to rediscover that fine line of being confident and unconfident, and hopefully we're getting that back quickly. And that's what me and Glyn have been, like to think, very good at doing over our careers as management in the management game, because we try and get the best out of the players and make them feel happy in what they're doing.